Are there any questions we have right now?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Um, the week, the most recent notes, it still won't open.
There are no notes.
No notes?
It's all the video.
Sorry.
It's the video.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, we're working from the videos only. I just talked to her today. She's finally back from her surgery, and I said, I need to well, no more notes. No more notes after week 8. Because the notes say the same thing as I do in the video. If you're watching the video, then you've got the same notes as are in there. Because it's pretty straightforward. And if you're watching the Zoom, you're getting more than the notes that are in the how I say it, more getting more information than is in the internet. Okie dokie, I'm sharing this. Any other questions? So I guess Office 365 did an update, and when they did the update, it can't use you cannot use the Mac until until they send this hot fix to the guys who run our stuff at San Diego Christian. It has been a week to remember trying to put things together for this class and other class when everything is on PowerPoint. And I can't, even if I open a PowerPoint, I can't copy and paste anything. In a Word document, I can't copy and paste anything. I'm kind of like, I can see it, but I can't do anything with it. So I had to go back into my archives and get all my stuff out and build something. So it's been an interesting couple of days. All right. So getting into the one-way ANOVA, please don't raise a hand. If you have a question, just reach out and say I have a question, and I'll stop and you're not interrupting me. I can always go back to what I'm doing, but you may have a few questions here. This week, as I said at the very beginning, everything feeds off everything else in basically in what we are doing. And if you were to go and have to take a super advanced, like I did, advanced statistics class, you'll find out that the stuff that you're learning now, in essence, will grow. It basically just gets bigger. It's the best way I can say it. It gets bigger. So we did a one sample t-test. One, and then you did your independent sample, and that's 2. And then you did a paired sample, and again, we're at 2. And then we did a correlation, and in essence, that's 2. A different kind of 2. It's a relationship there. We're looking at the differences on the other side. Next week, I'm leading up to next week where I'm saying I didn't put this word in there, but it's association. So you've got the differences and you've got your relationship. But like last week was not about a relationship, it was about a difference. We were looking at the means. Now we're still looking at the means, but this one's a little, what I would say, advanced in terms of everything that's in terms of basic inferential statistics. This one you may use, you may not use, okay, when you're DMP. From what I understand, a lot of it is your independent, your uh, correlation, and the paired sample. Those are your bigger ones. ANOVA, then a regression you probably won't use, but you understand your time is going to be limited in your DMP. It's it's not where like you have a whole semester to just kind of go through statistics. Once you get your data, you got to bang that out because you got to start to analyze it to be able to write it. Okay. So in terms of this, when you think about what we do in let's say an independent sample, and the independent sample is we have a set of numbers and we're running against male and female, yes and no, and those kind of things. When we did the one sample test, you had a grouping of numbers and you put a mean, a test value, and it was either above or below the test value. Well, now what happens when you have 3 or more variables. That's where everything starts to shift a little bit. You can't run a one sample t-test on each of them and be able to put it together. You could do an independent sample t-test on every single one of them. But in essence, you're really only going 1-to-1 all the way down. And then how do you put it all together? So this brings us to bring this together where I can look at a variable. And I can look at the real issue between whatever that variable that basically in this case in today's thing, it's a demographic, and how that demographic that has three or more is grouped. So you're going to have you're going to have two sets of numbers to look at, but one significance. And I'll get into that in a little bit. I don't want to jump ahead too far. Okay. So understanding that is that think of it this way: you've got that same look of an independent sample t-test, except but you have three or more variables. So when you do your study, if you have a demographic sheet and you have socioeconomic, upper, middle, and lower, or you have anything that you put in a place where you have three or more, and then you're looking at one another variable, that's when you're going to be running this test. And the test is in what we're doing in class is basically the write-up. If you don't watch this video and you don't do this, there's other parts to it, and there's even more parts on what we do. I don't have enough time. If I had 6 hours a week to do lecture, I probably could in a week go through having to do every single bit. But the base is each one of these is a very strong base. And if you were to watch this video and even grasp it a little bit, okay, you're not going to grasp the whole thing tonight. You're not going to grasp the whole thing by the time you get to the final. You're not going to grasp it. You might grasp it when you get to do it in your DMP, because all of a sudden, as you start to put your numbers in place, things start to pop off the page when you understand it. Kind of like your DMP, you're going to go through your DMP and all of it's not going to make any sense. And then all of a sudden, you're going to do some things and all of a sudden it's going to make sense. And even in some of the other tests, you're going to look at that test and go, I just don't see the conclusion. And then you keep going a little bit and you say, oh, that's it. And I'm good. That's it. And I'm good. That's it. And that's how like a one-way ANOVA does. There's a lot of numbers to look at, but if you just kind of decipher them as separate entities in your brain of what's important and what's not, and you throw away what's not important, all of a sudden things start to happen. But it's very, very direct. And I keep saying that because the final's coming, and key is some of you are writing so much that you're taking away from what you really need to say. Because if you say it and then you refute it, your grade's going down. I had a couple people that sent stuff back that you said the actual conclusion, and then you refuted it in the next sentence. You denied it. Said it was another direction, and that's why it's so important to be very direct, because it's very concise. Okay, so there's one-way ANOVA. Here's the definition. Basically, one-way analysis is used to determine whether there's a statistical significant difference between the means of two or more independent, unrelated groups. Okay? Although you may tend to see it used when there's a minimum of three rather than two groups. And truthfully, you want to use it for three or more. Because if not using independent sample, it's going to give you the data. Now, there is your one-way ANOVA. And within that, there are post hoc tests. Okay. I'm not having you run the post hoc tests. It's not a thing. Because if you get the write-up correct, you have everything you need. If you watch this video, but should be watching the video, this will help make something make sense. Okay. But when I do the post hocs, and I have you do the post hocs, I'm editing so much stuff, because if you're not doing it exactly like I asked you to do it, everything's going to come out wonky, and you're gonna have to redo it. And we are on a real short time frame here. Okay. All right. So in essence, basically what the post hoc test does is it takes it and it runs it like just like in essence, like a correlation. Got to be in a correlation, like a round robin tournament. It's going to look at each of the the pairs, and determine which ones are significant. So understanding that, you can have a significance level on your in your F value, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Their whole thing could be significant or non-significant, and if it's even if it's non-significant, you could have pairs of numbers, pairs of variables that are significant. So that's the most important thing to know. The actual write-up is on the entire thing, but it does point to some of the stuff in terms of the different groups. Okay. So I'm gonna get right into the post hoc here. This is a really bad picture. I've got another one a little bit later. So basically, if I'm looking at sugar, if somebody taking sugar or little sugar or no sugar, there's three variables. Okay. And you'll see right next to says a little sugar and no sugar. So you see it, on the first row here, you have sugar and little sugar, and then you got it runs it against little sugar and no sugar. And then all you really worry about is going over here right now. So here is there anything significant? Okay. And the thing is, and I'm not sure in the newest version, but in the older versions, if it had a little asterisk, it just lets you know that it was significant. Okay. At the 0.05 level, which is where you want it to. Okay. So here's another set that's much clearer. And this is the one I'm showing the write up for this week. It's short, sweet, to the point. And by the way, there is no conclusion this week. Okay. There is no actual conclusion this week. I'll say it again, no conclusion. You write it up as it is, and you're showing it. Okay. You show what you know in this one. Okay. So when it comes out in SPSS, when it comes out in SPSS or it comes out in Excel, you should have these numbers, how many, and the standard deviation. My opinion, this is the hardest test to run in Excel. So if you're using Excel and you want to use SPSS, you can see it in the textbook, the difference in the two. Okay. So basically, we're doing and basically this is for, it is large city, small city, suburb, and town. So we're basically looking at, and goes to more of my kinesiology class. I have other ones, but I can't get to them because I can't can't copy anything from Excel, and from other places that have to do with Microsoft. So I grabbed this old one. It's succeeding in sport. Okay. You could put any name you wanted up there. Okay. You could make it, I could have made it knee injuries by, this is not socio. Yes. Not socio. This is by community. I guess I did that one wrong, but it's by community. Okay. So this is community. It was a descriptive. It's large city, small city, suburb, and small town. The N is how many participants. There was 30 total. These are the means and these are the standard deviations. That's all it is. Again, going back to the beginning, we're using something we did before, and it's a descriptive. Okay. And then from there, this is the ANOVA test. This is what it looks like. In our case, we worry about the DF. We don't worry about the mean squared, but we do the DF, the F, and the significance. F is the F test for this one rather than T. That F is capitalized and it does have what? In italics. DF is in italics. You don't actually write down the word letter DF, but significance is your P value. But you can see here these words over here, between groups and within groups. Okay. So in essence, there are 3 between groups and there are 26 within groups. Okay. I'm going to show it to you in the post hoc, so that hopefully will make sense. It took me a long time, so don't stress. You see the F value and you see the significance value. That's for your write-up. Okay. Over here, you have a post hoc, and this should kind of make a little more sense. Okay. Remember, there has to be one that varies. Okay. So that one that varies, that means that's why you see that 3 in the between groups. But each one of these gives you a DF of 26, the small city suburb that. Okay. So you look at your numbers, you have your 2 DFs, and then you just plug them in there and it's done. The post hoc here tells me if there is a significance between any of them. And if you look over the significance, we do have significance, and we only have significance in one. And you'll see over here that 0.02 is below 0.05. Okay. So that 0.02 here and here, but it's the same. It's suburb and small city. Sorry, suburb. Yeah, that's right. Suburb and small city. And it's suburb and large city. And nothing down here. So you actually have 2. So you do have something that has significance. Okay. But just so you understand that if you were to run this, you would look and go, okay, it's not significant, but there is a significance in suburb to large town, large city, and suburb to small city. And pretty much that's the ANOVA. Other than my mess up of not paying attention, this word right here should be by community. So this is the whole write-up. To investigate participants' perceptions of succeeding in sport by socioeconomic status. Again, this is our introductory sentence. Very important. A one-way ANOVA is calculated. Everybody knows it's capital O, capital W, and ANOVA is all in caps. The more the people that I get to do this, the less editing you have to do, guys. Okay? So when you're doing yours, you have to look at what the topic is and create your sentence from that. In the directions, it tells you exactly what it is. That's what you're working from. Results of the analysis show the non-significant difference. Okay? The P was 0.93. It's non-significant. Here is your F. It's butted up to there. Then you see the 2 DFs from right here, 3 and 26. Okay? And then the P value was 0.15. Okay? I'm sorry, the F value was 0.15. Therefore, participants showed a non-significant in their perceptions of succeeding in basically by community. That's it. That's all I need from you. If you can do that, you've done your write-up for that. We really don't gain a great deal of conclusion from this. What this test, in most everything that I have my students do, it's the idea that you're running it by community to see if there's any significance, and you're running it by race to see if there's any significance in something that you're doing, a theme or whatever it is, to see if there is value within the 2 groups.
Dr. Jeff,
Yep.
what's the 0.15 value again?
F. 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 That value right here in the ANOVA table. If you're using Excel, it's there. It'll say F statistic. If you're using SPSS, you'll see that it'll have the descriptives. It will have something else. I can't remember what it is. And then you'll see one that has the title, just like this one, of ANOVA. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff on that line. But all you're really worried about is your DF, the 2 DFs, here and here, the F value and the significance. And you'll see that right here. F in italics, capitalize, the between groups, within groups, the F value, and the P value. Whatever that P value is, $, P value. Okay?
So you're telling me that I spent 6 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday looking up the Bonferroni on a million different videos. And we didn't, okay. Awesome.
Question in there is a video posted on there, right?
I didn't see a video. I looked.
Wish you'd have hit me up.
No, I wanted to really understand the concept, so it's fine.
Yeah, but you could have hit me up and I would have told you. If you'd have texted me, I would have told you. I don't know if I'd written Bon Fury. My personal opinion is I like turnkey or whatever it is. Well, I can't remember what it says.
Yeah, I was reading that that one's more is better for comparing like larger groups of like four or more, and I think we had like six in
Yeah.
one exercise, but it was much
Uh,
more complicated to do in Excel. So
ooh, it is. It isn't it of all of them, and it gets worse. It gets worse if you go to when you get to multiple regression. Oh my gosh! Last semester we only did uh, Excel, and it's like pulling teeth. Let's see. Here it is right here. The one we went over write up. Did I ask you for a post hoc in this?
no, but I wanted to know.
Well, that's fine. If you wanted to know, yeah. So you can run it either in basic terms. You can run a Von Fiori, or you can run the one that I have here, which is I think it's Tukey. It's Tukey. Wrong. You're on the right page. Tukey. I always remember Turkey without the R. Because usually I'm teaching this in the fall, right around Thanksgiving. Turkey without the R. What it is, it creates a more robust test on what we actually do between in your dissertation and that. Bonfiore does pretty much the almost the same thing. I don't know if it even looks different. I haven't done it in so long because I mostly teach Tukey because it is really robust with it does say large, but it also some other textbooks say that it's even better to use it on smaller ones. So basically, I've always used this, and I've never had any problems, never had any pushback in any of my presentations or anything on it. But bottom line is, regardless of what you do, you're looking for what on the backside. You're always looking for what is significant here. It's different than a significance of 0.0. You're still looking at 0.05, but you're not looking whether all you care about is significant or not. Because this is Lionel, you spoke up and you looked at it a little bit. Let me ask you a question. What does it mean to you that the suburb and the there's a significance between in this one, the suburb and the large city?
I would say that between the suburb and large city compared to the other groups, that it made a difference.
That's pretty much it. It had a significant. Now that word significant comes in, you use it.
Right.
You don't use it in your hypothesis. You can use it here, just like it did in the write up. But what does that really mean? It means that between the large city and the suburb, that there was a significant difference in succeeding. That's why there's really not a conclusion for it. Your conclusion is that there's a significant difference between something's happening there, but you really don't know what it is. It's the craziest thing in the entire world.
Yeah, my understanding of the ANOVA is it tells you the differences between, no, it tells you that there is a difference between your groups, and the post
Right.
hocs tell you which
Which
groups.
ones?
Yeah.
And that's it. So you really can't draw a conclusion like we have in the other weeks on the ANOVA. So, like, if you're in your DMP and you have something like this, it's generally something that adds to the conversation. So if you're looking at if socioeconomic is extremely important, that's upper, middle, lower, you're still using an ANOVA. But the problem is, even if you had something, now remember, it's a three-way, not a two-way. So it's suburb to large city and large city to suburb. It doesn't matter. Those two are significant in the idea that they're succeeding in sport. Other things, if you've done it correctly, other things in your testing will point to why those two are there. Or it may not make any difference at all. You may not be able to. That's the biggest problem with in a class like this doing the ANOVA, because there's no finishing. It's not like men are better than women. It's not that suburb and suburbs better than city. Okay, but you could say that suburb and large city, it doesn't mean anything. But why write that? Because it doesn't matter. Does anybody not understand what I'm trying to say? Have any questions on that? Please ask.
So is this screen right here just breaks it down more detail? Is that what the two key
Yes,
is?
it's detailed. So in essence, in the idea of what you just asked, we open it up and we look. Now, understand that, remember that this is non-significant. Between the groups, it's non-significant. It doesn't give you a within groups because you have the post hoc. But then the post hoc, if everything was significant, you got a woo woo because everything's truly significant. It does not mean that in a small city to a large city that there's not something that's important there. But within the groups itself, the scores that were given in terms of whether they were succeeding or not say that this was significant. So suburb and large city, or I'm sorry, large city and suburb. Okay, they're basically can say they're either succeeding or they're not succeeding. It doesn't give you that now, but if I go back here and I look at here, there was 4 in the large city and 3 in the suburb. So what could be my problem here? Let me know what my problem could be.
Small n.
Small n. So that would be what we would go back to and talk about limitation. That would be a limitation, and that would cover it because basically you only have that. But I think we have one of them that's significant: a small city and the suburb. Okay, so if I go back here, the small city and the suburb are showing where there is something going on there because it's statistically significant, and that's it. Don't try to read into it. Don't try to make something up. And I got people that I can say it out loud. I don't care how I make mad. Sorry. Some people are making stuff up. Some of the stuff I got last week were like, where did you find this? It's not even in the directions. This one is just a straightforward get her done. Take this right here, put it in there, write it up, and turn it in. That's it.
Dr. Jeff, on the results section, it says prepare write-up APA box.
You're supposed to take that out. No, there's no APA box.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Technically, you guys have worked real hard and that I'm not stressed about it. You basically would take this right here and make an APA box. But I got APA boxes next week for your last week. So she was supposed to take that out for me today. Okay. And basically, and the thing is that it's just extra work. It really is. It's extra work to build this right here. So, and it's basically just take those numbers, put them in Excel, put lines at the top and bottom, and turn it in. It's not because there's nothing. And the thing is that technically speaking, when it's run, if you run an SPSS in this one, it does not show that there's significance in any of those. if I go to Tukey, now all of a sudden it shows that there's significance in one, but they don't show it here unless there's significance in both, in the whole thing. So, all right, that's pretty much it. It's a real short week. Next week's a little different. We're going to do chi-squared next week. It should be up in a day or two, and that one has a lot of work. Okay. I'm going to throw this out there. If you are using Excel for next week, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that you could do if you use the lab just that 1 week and just do it, because that's not on the final. Next week is not on the final. Okay. It's a non-parametric test. I need to have at least one non-parametric test, and this basically lines up in the same lines of the one sample t-test, which you probably could use in your EMP, but probably won't. So, in essence, next week we've got APA boxes to do, and I can tell you that if you need help with the lab, if you're doing Excel and you need help with the lab, reach out. Not on Sunday, before Sunday. I'll walk you through it through Zoom, get you your data, and you can run with it. Okay. Because otherwise you've got like formula after formula after formula to do. The regression button in there is not complete. It won't give you everything you need. And so, when she posts it, there's probably one of the better ones. It's the only person that is really I could understand, if you can understand on YouTube and statistics. But I will tell you next week, if you don't understand what's going on in there, YouTube is the best place to go. That's how I learned how to do chi-squared. Because my professor was horrible. When it came time to do the chi-squared stuff, the book I had was more advanced statistics, but we had to do chi-squared again, and I had to go back, and I didn't do it in my master's or in SPSS and slash Excel in my master's, and I didn't really do it in my undergrad for some reason. So I had to learn through YouTube. YouTube's a great place to go. Okay. And the one I gave you is in my opinion, the most simplistic one that gets you everything you need. There's a couple other ones on there. They don't speak English as clearly as this one does, but they do. There you can do a lot. You can do all the steps if you want to. If you want to one or the other one, if you want that one, I'll give it to you. But really need you just to do what I need you to do and be done with it. Same for the final. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times. I'm sorry, guys. When I grade the final, I'm grading the final on what I told you to do in the class in each of the steps. And if you're writing too much, you're doing whatever it is you want, and you want to throw in all extra stuff. So I can tell you, if you want to study for your final, know your stuff at the beginning, and I'll be able to let you know based on I'm finishing it up with her. It's 100 points. You're going to do descriptions of frequencies, one sample t-test. At this moment, one sample independent correlation and paired sample. And if there's any change in that, I will let you know next week. But relatively, that's it. We'll do right up to each of them. And then there'll be some other questions in there based on the first 8 weeks. Okay. And other than that, that's it. So if you've done your edits and you've got them all squared away and got your textbook all marked up where these things are, you're not running data. None of the time. You're getting the data. So you're getting the SPSS box. I don't have SPSS. And you're getting the SPSS box and you're getting it in Excel. So if you've been working in Excel, you're getting the Excel stuff. And I'm probably going to put this out in an announcement. I just give you SPSS, which is just easier to see and do. But if I'm going to put them both on there, and then you choose which one you're going to use that you know, and you just, if you've done it, you have it ready to go, you're going to be able to swoop right through this and have no problem. You're going to say, "Oh, that was easy." It's the ones that are adding extra things and extra words and that all of the conclusions are all one sentence. I don't need you to tell me what's statistically significant. I don't need to tell me all that other stuff. And the reason why is because you already said it above. You already said it above. You're saying it again. That's if you got an APA editor, they'd send it back to you and say, "Why is this here? Why is this here? You've already said this up here." It's being concise. It's real important. So remember that and study from that point, because if you got 100, you have all of it. But if you're adding extra words from what the templates are that you're given, then you have a chance of losing points. So that's what you need to study. You know, you need to remember, go back and do some of your things like mean and some of the other keywords. But I only have 10 at this moment. I only have 10 multiple choice questions, and all the rest are are your write-ups. Because if you can write them all up and you get a good grade, you've shown mastery. So,
Dr.
yeah.
Jeff,
Sure.
when did you say week 15 will be released?
I gave it to her the other day, and I talked to her on the phone today. She's gonna try and have it up tomorrow.
Okay. And then the final is gonna be, have you determined the date yet?
Tomorrow, she's supposed to give me the dates for the final tomorrow, so I'll put it on an announcement of which date.
Okay, thank you.
I understand that when you finish the final, you fail. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna say it next week. I'm gonna say it in the announcement because I have to grade the finals. I have to hand grade each of the finals because it's a short answer question. So it should take me about as long as it takes to do, anything else. It's going to take me probably 5-6 hours to get through each of the finals, all of them. So I would imagine she's probably going to put it probably middle of the week. That gives me a little more time to grade. But as soon as it closes, the next morning I'll be sitting there wherever I'm at, typing, doing it. Okay. So hopefully I'll have the dates that it'll be posted and ready to go and for the final.
Okay, one last question.
Yes, 20 questions. I don't care.
For that last week, the week of the 15th, are we gonna have a reading and discussion?
Oh yeah, you got the reading and discussion. I can't get away from that. Otherwise, I got to give you 2 more assignments.
The last week before the 21st?
The week we do next week.
No, the next week, the week of the 15th, which is the last full week of class, when the final is.
Oh, no. Nope.
Okay.
I think that week, the other assignment is to do the evaluation. I think it's final I'm not sure. I know all I have planned is the final. There's nothing to read.
Okay, I'm just checking.
As far as I know, I think it's just the final, but I can check on that too. Yeah, every other week we have to do that reading assignment, or I've got to give you another assignment to do. And the bottom line is I'm supposed to have 4 assignments a week. And the only reason I get away with, other than that one sample t-test, I'll never do that again in my entire life. That week I did both tests, is because I'm editing. It's considered an assignment. I think it's called a contact or something like that. Otherwise, I would have had to put the reading assignment and one more assignment or two more assignments. They upped it from 2 assignments and a discussion board to basically 4 contacts a week. And I'm like, I don't have that much work. I don't know if I have enough time to grade all that stuff. So basically the feedback I give you creates creates an assignment, and so does the reading one. That makes sense? Because last semester, even though this was optional, this was considered a contact. That's why I always had more people. I had a ton of people in class because you got credit for it. We're here, not really points. You got credit.
Okay.
Any other questions you guys have? It's real straightforward. Follow the directions, put in the numbers, get the numbers, follow in the numbers. Reach out if you have any problems with it, because especially using Excel, you might have problems. And if you just sit there and stare at it, I'm going to tell you your best bet is to do the lab or help me. I'll help you do the lab and get your data. I don't care. We get it done. But if you do not do it correctly, the numbers will come out wonky. You have to make sure, especially in Excel, that you're getting the right numbers in the right places. And the video shows you exactly what to do. Okay. So this is an easy one tonight. We rolling. Any other questions? All right, so I am going to pray us out, and if you need to stay in that and talk to me personally, feel free to stay. And other than that, this week and next week especially, you have problems because at the end of the semester, don't play around. Reach out. I will help you to get through these next 2 weeks because this one, especially Excel, is tough. There's some certain things. If you do an Excel, this one, the numbers are just right there. Okay. You just follow the template. Next week, you're doing a whole nother thing where you have to build the APA boxes for the expected and the other one. So, and then I had to do something different with Excel because of the way they changed it. So, other than that, we're good. And if there's anything I can do to help, please reach out. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for tonight. Thank you for that. We're getting close to the end of this semester. I know some people in this room will be happy, and some that we won't have our Tuesday nights together, and some will be very sad to hang out together on Tuesday. I appreciate those that came. I appreciate those that actually watched the video during the week. And to those that are struggling, follow the directions and just get her done. And for those that are doing it well, congratulations. You're going to benefit big time when you get to your DMP across the board, because this is all your DMP is. It's like, do this, get it edited. Do this, get it edited, edit, and you edit. Oh, you didn't do it the way you're supposed to. Do it again, and that's how it is, and that's what you're doing here. So all we're doing is practicing for the future. So, Lord, thank you for all the people in this class and the hard work that they're putting in each week. Lord, please bless those that are not here tonight, and hopefully they will watch this and benefit from it. Lord, please keep us free from sin, prosperous and healthy as we get ready for our Christmas season, and we know that you are the reason. And all God's people said, amen.